Hello, you're watching CGTN live in Shenyang, northeastern China's Liaoning province. I am Sun Tianyuan. Now the city is about to start a commemoration ceremony to mark the 89th anniversary of the September 18th incident, which is a historical event that drags China into the war with Japan for over 14 years and dragged millions of civilians and soldiers into the war as well. Now, as you can see behind me, people from all walks of life in Shenyang have gathered here to mark the day. I can see soldiers, students, and veterans and local officials. So this is a way the city remembers the past and look forward into the future. Okay, there's still a few minutes to go before the ceremony begins. Now, here's some background information for those of you who may not be familiar with the Chinese history. Well, I'm at the September 18th History Museum. This museum is built near the historical site where the Japanese troops staged an explosion in 1931 to frame China for a crime it never committed. The forces blew up a section of the South Manchurian Railway that actually was under Japan's control and blamed China for sabotage. And later, the Japanese forces assaulted Shenyang and occupied the city. So it was seen as part of the military strategy, a move to justify Japan's attack on northeastern China, and that later turned into a full-scale invasion of the whole nation. All right, we're still waiting for the event to get started, and people are standing in silence. So these people are here to pay tribute to the martyrs, the Chinese martyrs who sacrificed their lives for this nation's peace and prosperity over 89 years ago. And for those of you who have just joined me on the live streaming, I'm in Shenyang, the capital city of northeastern China's Liaoning province. And you're watching the city's annual event to commemorate the September 18th incident, which marks the outbreak of the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression in 1931. Still waiting for the ceremony to start. It's about to start in a few minutes. Please stay with us. And for those of you who just tuned in, we're in Shenyang, northeastern China's Liaoning province. We're at the city's annual commemoration of its September 18th incident. Seems the event is about to start. The host just said we are here to commemorate the September 18th incident to pay tribute to the martyrs who sacrificed their lives, both soldiers and civilians, in the war. And now the host is introducing the guests of honor who came here today, including soldiers, veterans, and families and relatives. Representatives from all walks of life in Shenyang. Now we sing the national anthem. For your information, China's national anthem was composed and written a few years after the September 18th incident. And the lyrics were calling the Chinese compatriots to rise up and fight against Japanese invaders, march on against enemy's fire. The song was debuted in 1935. In 1949, China decided to make the song its anthem. It looks like local authorities about to strike the memorial bell. And for those of you who have just joined me on the live streaming, I'm in Shenyang, the capital city of northeastern China's Liaoning province. You're watching CGTN live on broadcasting of the city's annual event to commemorate its September 18th incident. Such a beautiful day to mark the incident. Now the people of Shenyang remember the past and moves on. That's the only way to help the country move onwards and upwards. We're waiting for local officials to strike the bells. as a way to honor China's hard-won victory in World War II. It seems like we're waiting for I think they'll strike the bell at 9:18, which is a number for September 18th. The representatives stood in silence, waiting for the bell to be struck. On the memorial bell, it says, "Do not forget a national humiliation." It's one strike. 4, 5. 9, 10. Sobering siren, cars blaring their horns, and the sounds echoed in the city. This is the way to alarm people of China's bitter past. September 18th incident known as the national humiliation. For those of you who have just joined me on the live streaming, I'm in Shenyang, the capital city of Liaoning province. We're watching the city's annual event to commemorate the 89th anniversary of the September 18th incident, which marks the outbreak of the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression in 1931. if you have noticed or not, there was 14 strikes in total to honor China's hard-won victory in World War II and the martyrs who sacrificed their lives for this nation's peace and prosperity. 14 years of fighting and struggle. The host says remembering the past is good for the future, so you won't repeat the mistakes or atrocities in the past. The September 18th incident is often considered as a national humiliation in China because it was an unprecedented event in the Chinese history and the beginning of Japan's atrocity in China, including chemical warfare, human experiments, forced sex slaves, and carnage, for instance, the Nanjing Massacre. Now, as Shenyang remembers the bitter past, its people are also taking a chance to cherish the nation's long-lasting peace after World War II. Now, the guests are moving towards the museum to take a visit. Earlier, I talked to the head of the museum, and she told me the city started to hold the annual commemoration of such kind since 2005. In the museum, you can actually see a lot of historical footage and pictures, even relics or replicas of the war. So actually, there are visitors who came from other cities just to take a look. Now, this year also marks the 75th anniversary of the end of the Second World War. That's also the victory of the Chinese People's War of resistance against Japanese aggression and the World Anti-Fascist War. Our Chinese President Xi Jinping also hailed the spirit of the war against Japanese aggression and said it will always motivate the Chinese people to overcome all difficulties and obstacles and strive to achieve national rejuvenation. Now the students are joining the group on the visit. Peace and friendly long-term China-Japan relations are the fundamental interests of people in both countries, said President Xi Jinping, and a healthy relationship between the two will also help maintain peace and stability in Asia and the world. More people are joining the group, and we can see veterans over there.
队伍，所有队伍按提示啊，一列一列，一列一列，现在开始离场啊。
I think that brings us to the end of today's live streaming. And tomorrow we're going to the Chinese border city of Dandong to visit a memorial hall of the Korean War, or what the Chinese call the war to resist U.S. aggression and aid Korea. So stay tuned for more on CGTN. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.